Hey, welcome back. This is Shelody with the Healthy Ways Tip of the Week. Hope you guys are enjoying my videos. If so, I would love for you to subscribe, give them a like so more people can know about them and the word can kind of start spreading to others. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of restaurant eating, foods, maybe outings at friends, family. It's all sort of under the same conversation. So you could use these tips I'm giving you today in many food situations. But I was kind of thinking more for restaurants in general. So basically, Healthy Way comes from the mindset that we really want you to still enjoy life and understand that, hey, I'm allowed nice extra little maybe treats, if you want to call them that, here and there. But generally, we have a specific way of eating, well-rounded. We're having a lot of vegetables, nice quality grain proteins. I shouldn't say grains. I'm sorry, I said that weird. Quality proteins, quality grains, so two separate things. Fruits and healthy fats. So we do want you to get a variety. And typically with restaurant eating, there is a lot more salt and a lot of sugar that is in their sauces, condiments, just anything they're doing. And even when you're going to a really high-class, clean place, I guarantee you there is probably hordes of salt and probably a lot more sugar than you'd realize. Sugar is the number one added ingredient in everything. Sugar, salt really are the biggest. So usually what I would say is if you know what restaurant you're going to, look at the menu ahead of time. Kind of know what you're getting yourself into. You could even call ahead of time if you were interested in asking them if there's any menu modification or how you could find a meal that fits in to the way you would like to eat. And really don't be afraid to ask for changes. Often if it calls for a certain side, say, hey, can I get some steamed veggies instead or roasted veggies? Do you have brown rice instead or quinoa, some other kind of grain instead of just white rice or some maybe noodle or something like that. A lot of places have gluten-free noodles now that might be brown rice based rather than white wheat flour, which brown rice flour is going to be a lot more nutrient rich for the body. So I invite you to play around of using your voice, asking for what you need and seeing if it's possible. I have found that there's very few places that are going to say, no, we can't help you. There's a couple places that's like, ooh, we've already made it. It's already kind of all together that way. And in a situation where you try to do your best and you're going to eat something that we might say is off your plan, then you go with it. What are you going to do? You're just going to enjoy yourself. You're going to drink a lot of water. Water is the best thing for fluid retention. Really, any situation. Drink your water first and then eat. And then if you went to that restaurant or a friend's house that it was something a little richer than you were planning on eating, you just do a very clean meal on your next meals and you just don't worry about it. I feel like when we put that stress and negativity on ourselves, like, oh no, I messed up, I'm so bad, that doesn't help. There's a way to still be like, hey, okay, we kind of went off there. That's not how I want to do it. Let's, get back on track and we'll go for it. So more of that glass half full attitude. It's not about letting yourself do whatever, but saying, hey, I did my best. This is how it happened. And I don't know, that attitude really I've seen time and time again for clients is much more effective for them to stay successful than when they're beating themselves up all the time. That doesn't help anybody, including themselves. You got to be your own number one cheerleader on this journey. So that is one main tip for restaurants is just asking for help or menu changes. And then if you can't do anything about it, drink your water and have a clean meal the next meal you have, or have a clean day the next day you have. For myself, I personally do not eat dairy for allergy reasons. I don't have a super severe reaction, so I don't always say, oh, I'm allergic, but I'll say no dairy on that, please. There's been a few times that dairy still comes somewhere in the meal, and I'm good at catching it, but I have found if you really let that server know, I have an allergy to dairy, I can't have it on my food. They hear you much more clear and they'll actually write that on the receipt tag and the chef will see that. If that's for gluten, for any food thing that you have a sensitivity to, just be super clear with them. You could even say, hey, I need low salt. I'm having high blood pressure problems. My doctor's orders low salt. When you word it in much more of a medical way, I find people hear you and kind of respect that wish a little bit more, just from personal experience. I've noticed that, so maybe that will help you as well. And my final trick is basically this is the rule that goes for any situation you're in. We would advocate the main foods that are super important for you to always have. First is water. Always drinking your water. Make sure water is your number one food ingestion thought. H2O. Second would be your vegetables. You want a ton of veggies. Veggies are life. They have so much nutrients and vitamins and minerals in there. That is really the bulk of the food we want to be getting. And finally is protein. We want good amount of protein for our weight loss journey, for our weight maintenance journey, keeping our energy up. And for those of you who aren't eating animal-based proteins, that's okay. There are still protein options out there for you, which I'll do a separate video on that later. So again, recapping: water, vegetables, protein. Those are the three main things you always want to ensure you're having with a meal. So whether you're going to a restaurant, a friend's house, a holiday function, or your own plate at home, you're going to pick foods that are mostly protein and vegetable rich, and have your water with you or drink it before. And then your fats, your starches, and your fruits are going to be more of your extras. Usually fruit we have on the side. Your fats are going to be in your condiments, or maybe even in the way that you're cooking something, or adding avocado or nuts and seeds on top. That's fine, but use it sparingly. Don't go super extra with that. And for your starches, we are a fan of starches here at Healthy Weight. Your quality starches, whole grains, not nuts, but things like brown rice, quinoa, whole grain breads, and sweet potatoes, yams, things like that, beans, legumes. Those kind of starches you also want, but you want to portion them. You don't want to just have as much as you feel like. You want to definitely still have a adequate portion. Maybe like the size of your fist or so of your starch serving. And then the bulk of your food is protein and vegetables. So at a restaurant, you order something that's going to be protein, veggie rich. And then if there's a starch with it, okay, you eat that after you've eaten bulk of the protein and veggies. So you're really getting full and sustained from that. And then whatever you have room for, you have your starch serving, you have your fats, whatever form that's coming in. So, some of this, it might be broad. I'm happy to answer more questions to make that a little bit more clear. We do have a restaurant guide here at The Healthy Way of local menus from Santa Cruz County that if you wanted to know for a specific restaurant, you could start looking and seeing what foods we'd really recommend there. But ultimately, order bulk protein, bulk veggies, have your fluid, and then have a little bit of starch, a little bit of fats, and maybe fruit on the side. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it is valuable for you, and stay happy and healthy. Thank you for watching today, and I look forward to talking with you next week. Have a good one.